Brazilian families are shelling out around $12,000 every year just on fuel. Now picture this, nearly 30% of that cash is literally being thrown away for no good reason. In today's video, I'm sharing 13 powerful fuel-saving secrets that gas stations would rather keep quiet about. These aren't just tricks to cut your pump costs. They also help prevent expensive engine damage and even reduce accident risks. And stick around to the end, because I'll drop one game-changing secret that could save you more than $7,000 without spending a single cent. Let's jump right in with the countdown. Secret number 13. Stop wasting money on premium gasoline if your car isn't built for it. Millions of drivers fall for this trap every year, thinking premium fuel makes the engine roar stronger or run cleaner. The truth? It's one of the biggest unnecessary expenses out there, adding up to billions wasted nationwide. Premium doesn't mean superior quality, extra power, or better cleaning. It's simply higher octane. Regular Brazilian gasoline typically sits around 87 octane, US equivalent, while premium hits 91, 94. Higher octane only matters for high compression engines, turbocharged models, or specific high-performance setups that demand it to prevent knocking. If your owner's manual doesn't require premium, you're paying extra for zero benefit. Even in cars where premium is recommended, but not mandatory, independent tests prove there's no real boost in power, efficiency, or mileage. The extra cost just vanishes into thin air. I'll dive deeper into why this myth persists in secret number 5 later on. Secret number 12. Don't overlook a clogged air filter. It's more damaging than most people realize. Back in the carburetor days, a dirty filter meant a richer fuel mix and higher consumption. Modern engines with electronic fuel injection can compensate automatically, so some older studies claimed a filthy filter has little effect on mileage. But that's only part of the picture. A heavily restricted air filter forces the engine to work harder, leading to sluggish starts, poor throttle response, buildup of carbon deposits inside, and eventual drops in performance and longevity. It can also cause misfires, fouled spark plugs, or even flooded cylinders from imbalanced air-fuel ratios. Replacing or cleaning it is one of the cheapest maintenance tasks, yet skipping it invites far pricier repairs down the road. Keep it fresh. Your engine and wallet will thank you. Secret number 11. Always maintain the correct tire pressure. Don't wait for the warning light. Most drivers only check tires when the TPMS light flashes, but by then, you're already losing serious money. That alert usually triggers at around 25% under inflation, roughly 8 psi below spec on a typical car. According to data similar to US Department of Energy findings, every 1 psi drop across all 4 tires cuts efficiency by about 0.2%. So 8 psi low equals over 1.6% worse fuel economy. It sounds minor, but over a full year of driving, it adds up to hundreds of Rs slipping away unnoticed. Shockingly, studies show fewer than 20% of drivers keep all tires at proper pressure consistently. Check monthly. Tires naturally lose, chuck 1 psi per month. Always use the door jamb sticker value, not the tire sidewall max. And avoid overinflating. Too much pressure wears tires unevenly and raises blowout risks. Proper inflation is completely free money back in your pocket. Secret number 10. Take off roof racks or cargo boxes when they're not in use. Extra weight hurts efficiency, but poor aerodynamics hurts even more, and an empty roof rack delivers a double whammy. The same principle applies to bike carriers or large roof storage pods. Research from energy labs abroad estimates hundreds of millions of liters of fuel wasted annually worldwide from unused roof-mounted gear. On average, an empty rack can sap 2-5% of your range, but at highway speeds, like 120 km/h, drag skyrockets and losses can hit 12%. Loaded cargo boxes are worse, up to 25% worse fuel consumption in some cases, because they massively increase frontal resistance. Even carrying items up top, instead of inside, can cut efficiency by 10 to 25%, mainly from wind drag. If you must use one, choose sleeker, more aerodynamic designs, and ease off the speed. Removing it when empty is an instant, no-cost win for your fuel budget. Secret number 9. Make full use of adaptive cruise control, or regular cruise. Don't let it sit unused. Newer Brazilian cars come loaded with driver aids. yet many owners ignore them completely. Surveys reveal that only about 1/4 of people with cruise control use it regularly, and over a third have never even tried adaptive versions, ACC. That's a missed opportunity. Constant speed changes, especially quick ups and downs, spike fuel use dramatically. For example, bouncing between 75 to 85 km/h repeatedly can increase consumption by up to 20%. Aggressive acceleration and hard braking hurt even more, sometimes dropping efficiency by 30% on the highway. Cruise control locks in steady speeds, letting the engine operate in its sweet spot for minimal waste. Adaptive cruise goes further by gently adjusting to traffic, smoothing throttle and brakes automatically. Users often see 5 to 7% better mileage, especially in stop-and-go city driving. It also spares your brake pads, reduces engine stress, and boosts safety. Stop overlooking this built-in tool, activate it and watch the savings roll in. Secret number 8. Cut down on unnecessary idling. Your engine doesn't need to warm up the old-fashioned way. Every year, more than 20 billion litres of fuel are wasted globally just from vehicles sitting still in traffic, and a huge chunk of that comes from personal cars. Besides polluting the air, idling burns your money and quietly accelerates internal engine wear. Yet many drivers still follow the outdated advice passed down from their grandparents. Let it run for a few minutes before driving. Here's the reality. Unless your car has a carburetor, meaning it's from the 1980s or older, modern fuel-injected engines reach their ideal operating temperature in just seconds, even on cold mornings. Manufacturers now recommend no more than 30 seconds of idling in winter before you start moving. Driving gently actually warms the engine faster, improves efficiency, and uses less fuel than sitting in place. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency estimates that a typical car burns between 0.25 and 0.5 liters per hour, while idling, depending on engine size. And it's not just at startup. Whenever you'll be stopped for more than 10 seconds, long toll booths, heavy traffic jams, or extended waits. Turning off the engine saves fuel and prevents carbon buildup in the combustion chamber, exhaust corrosion, and premature wear. As a bonus, the cabin heater blows warm air much sooner once you're rolling. If you're worried about the engine not warming up enough, the next tip solves that problem perfectly. Secret number 7. Switch to the right viscosity engine oil, the one the manufacturer actually recommends. Surprisingly, around 60% of drivers are using the wrong oil without even realizing it. The correct viscosity is printed right on the oil filler cap, yet many people grab whatever is cheapest or most convenient. The key point, within the manufacturer's approved range, thinner oils, lower viscosity, can deliver real fuel savings without compromising protection. Lighter oils flow faster, especially when the engine is cold, reducing internal friction and letting the motor work more efficiently. For example, if your manual calls for 5W30, switching to an approved 0W20 can yield noticeable improvements. On average, drivers who make this change report about 2.4% better fuel economy. Important caveat, the benefits come mainly from fully synthetic oils. A thinner synthetic oil still protects better than a thicker mineral oil, but always stick to the exact specs. In smart seasonal approach is to use a lighter grade in winter for quicker circulation and a slightly thicker one in summer, when the engine runs hotter. Done right, this is one of the easiest ways to lower your fuel bill while keeping the engine healthy. Secret number 6. The dangerous myth of drafting behind trucks. Don't even think about it. This one comes with a big red warning. Tailgating large trucks for fuel savings is extremely hazardous and illegal in virtually every country, including Brazil. From a pure efficiency standpoint, the aerodynamic slipstream behind a big truck can slash fuel use dramatically. Tests from organizations like the SAE and even MIT studies show that staying just 3 meters behind a truck can cut consumption by up to 35%. Nothing else comes close. But at that distance, you have less than half a second to react to any sudden problem. The risk of a catastrophic crash is enormous. At 6 meters, savings drop to around 27%, still huge, but still far too dangerous. At 30 meters, the benefit shrinks to roughly 10%. In real-world highway driving at 110 km/h, even 30 meters gives you barely over 1 second of reaction time. Way too little for safety. The truly safe following distance, 70-80 meters or more, reduces any fuel advantage to just 1 to 3%. Yes, there's still a tiny gain, but it comes with zero added risk. Safety always wins over a few extra kilometers per tank. Secret number 5, air conditioning versus open windows. The real winner depends on speed. This debate sparks more arguments on family road trips than choosing where to stop for lunch. Yes, the AC does add load to the engine and increases fuel use, but the full story is more nuanced. Data similar to energy agency studies show that running the air conditioning can raise consumption by up to 15%, and in extreme heat, up to 30%. That penalty is most noticeable at low speeds in city traffic. However, once you're cruising at 60 to 70 km/h or faster, open windows create a massive parachute effect. The added aerodynamic drag can make the car less efficient than keeping the AC on. In aerodynamic sedans and hatchbacks, the crossover point where AC becomes the better choice often arrives around 70 km/h. In boxier vehicles like SUVs or older pickups, it may take higher speeds. Plus, driving in sweltering heat without AC leads to fatigue, reduced concentration, and higher accident risk. The practical advice for Brazilian drivers: on highways, use the air conditioner and turn on recirculation mode for maximum efficiency. In stop-and-go city driving at low speeds, rolling down the windows can save more fuel. Secret number 4. Clear out the clutter in your trunk. Every extra kilo costs you money. Have you noticed that almost no new cars in Brazil come with a full-size spare tire anymore? It's not because tires are indestructible. It's because extra weight directly increases fuel consumption. Estimates show that every additional 45 kilo, about 100 pounds, can raise fuel use by roughly 1%, depending on the vehicle. That old set of tools you never touch, the giant subwoofer, camping gear you haven't used in years, all of it quietly drains your wallet. Extra weight also accelerates wear on suspension components, bushings, and shock absorbers, repairs that are notoriously expensive in Brazil. Some enthusiasts go overboard, removing rear seats or even tailgates, but stripping emissions equipment to save weight is illegal, dangerous, and carries heavy fines. The smart move is simple. Remove everything you don't truly need, keep only essentials, and lighten the load. Your fuel bill and your car's longevity will thank you. Secret number 3. Drive like a pro, anticipate traffic and stay smooth. Aggressive driving doesn't just raise accident risk and wear out your car faster. It also doesn't get you there any quicker. Real-world tests by automotive associations show that the hard-accelerating, hard-braking, lane-weaving driver saves an average of only about 30 seconds per day, while burning far more fuel, tires, and brake pads, plus tickets. Aggressive style can increase consumption by 15 to 30% on highways and 10 to 40% in city traffic. The fuel-saving secret? Look far ahead. See the light turning red 300 meters away? Ease off the gas early. Spot a slowdown forming. Start decelerating gently now. This prevents full stops and eliminates the need for hard acceleration afterward, one of the biggest fuel wasters. It also keeps engine temperatures lower and avoids unnecessary stress. And that constant lane changing in search of the faster lane, it's mostly an optical illusion. The time savings are tiny, but the crash risk is huge. Secret number 2. Check your fuel cap. It's one of the cheapest fixes that saves the most. Around 20% of Brazilian cars are driving around with a worn, loose, or damaged fuel cap, and most owners never think about it. Yet a faulty cap is a silent thief. It can allow dozens of liters of fuel to evaporate over a year without you noticing. Worse, it often triggers EVAP system fault codes, the infamous check engine light for evaporative emissions. A cracked seal, poor locking mechanism, or damaged cap lets vapors escape and can cause rough idling, hesitation, misfires, or even engine stalling. Replacing it costs only $40 to $80, but ignoring it can lead to EVAP repairs that easily exceed $4,000 on some models. Don't let a tiny part become an expensive headache. Inspect and replace it regularly. Secret number 1. Avoid the two extremes when filling up. Neither run it bone dry nor force it past the click. Nobody enjoys stopping at the pump, so drivers often make two costly mistakes: letting the tank get almost empty or topping off after the pump clicks off. Running on empty repeatedly can overheat and burn out the in-tank fuel pump, which relies on gasoline for cooling and lubrication. Replacing it today costs over $1,500 on many cars. On the other extreme, continuing to pump after the first click spills fuel onto the paint, damaging the clear coat, triggers the station's vapor recovery system to suck back some of what you just paid for, and can flood the evap system, clog valves, and create expensive fault codes. In severe cases, evap repairs have reached $6,000 or more. The sweet spot is simple. Fill when you're down to about a quarter tank and stop at the first click. You protect the pump, avoid waste, and keep the emission system healthy, all without spending extra.